Hello, my name is Jeffrey Watson.
And I'm Ethan Edwards.
And this is the Ridge Podcast.
Today we're interviewing Coach Kenzie Marshall.
Hello, Coach. How are you? You can tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm doing very good. Well, I work at the Wellness Center as a rehab trainer, and of course I coach track at Carroll County High School with you guys. I hold a certification in personal training and exercise physiology, and I have my bachelor's degree in exercise science with a concentration in sports medicine.
Oh, yeah. But we've known you for a few years.
Yeah.
You've coached us for track and field for 2 or 3 years now, huh?
Yeah, for me, I guess this is my 3rd year with you.
Yeah, because I've coached for 4 years.
And then you also do
then it'd be 4, because 7th,
I had
8th,
you when
9th,
you
10th.
were-
Yeah, so 4 years.
But you also do like a winter program that we...
Yeah, the winter and the summer program.
Winter summer programs.
Yeah.
But with most of our interviews, we kind of want to get started with the beginning.
Yeah.
So where did you grow up?
Where did I grow up? Here in Hillsville, born and raised.
Yeah.
Did you go to Hillsville Elementary School?
I did not. So I'm a little different. I started out at Woodlawn whenever it was in elementary.
Old school.
Yeah. And then I went to Laurel Elementary, then back to Woodlawn for middle school, then the intermediate, and then the high school. So I was jumping all over the place.
Did you play any sports in your childhood?
I did not. I started my running career in 10th grade, and that started because I did JROTC in 9th grade, and Colonel Carper encouraged me every single day to run cross country and to run track. And so that next year, I finally did it, even though I didn't want to. But Colonel Carper has his ways of getting you to do things.
Yeah. Well,
So you had no interest in running before that?
I did not. I didn't have any interest in any sports.
And how were your academics in school? Were you really interested in school? Or?
No, I had awful grades until I did JROTC, and Colonel Carper got me to get better grades. I had a 2.9 GPA, and then I graduated high school with a 3.6.
wow.
So
Quite an improvement.
So
I
he
did.
was pretty persistent in getting you to join up.
He was. To be honest, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Colonel Carper.
So-
Best coach and model of my life.
So your first coach when you joined was Coach Sharp?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Were you intimidating by him?
I was.
I think that's a story
Yeah,
pretty
that's
much across the
normal
board.
reaction.
He looks mad constantly.
Because when I started in 6th grade,
You started in 7th.
7th grade, I was a little fella. And he's probably, 6'7", 6'6".
He's tall.
He's a
Tall.
big man, so I
Yeah.
mean, he was a giant next to me, and I was always I was scared of him that first season. But after a while, you get to know him. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
I regret not having him as a coach. He's great. I miss him.
So you show up that first season. Were you good off the bat, or how did
Of
that
course
start?
not. I walked my first day of practice, and other boys that I was in JROTC with made fun of me that day. And after that day, I never walked during a practice.
Wow.
Yeah, you got
know
to start
what?
somewhere.
I mean, yeah,
You got to suck at something and then get better at it.
certainly can't blame someone who's never ran before for walking. So
It's a
Exactly.
whole different
it's a
experience.
process. Yeah.
So that first season, you started walking off. You got persistently better. Where did you end that season at?
Well, I ended being the best girl on the team
Wow.
because our senior, Elise Zavalski, she was the best one, and I beat her every race after that.
Do you remember your first race?
I do, and it was at Hungry Mother State Park.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And that was whenever I kind of found out my potential, and I passed Elise at the very end. And Colonel Carper came to me the next day at school, and he had his little list of like first, second, third place and stuff, and he had my name highlighted, and he just kept pointing at it. And he was like, very proud of you.
Yeah, that's good. Do you remember what your time was?
It's 23 something.
Wow,
That's
that's
good.
fast.
But races they're a really unique
First
thing.
year.
For my very first race, that's
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. First year looks fast, and first place. Wow, looks impressive. Okay, so you mentioned JROTC and Colonel getting you into running and being a big part of your life. Why did you start doing JROTC?
Well, in my mind, I thought I wanted to be in the military, and I don't like to do things that are out of my comfort zone, so I made myself sign up for that class. And of course, at that time, I was in 9th grade, and I would have to ride the bus over to the high school for class.
Oh, okay.
And that was very big on like my anxiety and stuff, so I had to push through it and get out of my comfort zone, which I'm glad that I did, or I still wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I made that choice, and I'm glad I met Colonel Carper.
Yeah. So how long did it take for you to develop that type of relationship with Colonel?
Not too long. That's just because he likes to put himself out there anyways. So it's like even if you didn't want that relationship with him, you'd have that relationship with him regardless.
Yeah.
So you ran that first season during cross country. Did you immediately start track the next fall, the next spring?
Yep, I followed suit each time.
Because I didn't do track for a few years after joining cross country.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I regret that because
I did track a
Yeah.
season before I started cross country, so we had a bit of a different path.
And did you like track or cross country more?
Of course, I like tracks at Colonel Carper,
Yeah.
and it was a shorter distance.
Oh.
So you didn't. So what did you run during track?
Well, I ran everything.
Yeah.
So I ran 4x8, which me and 3 other girls have the record for the school. And then I ran 400 a couple of times. That was awful. 800, which I hated. I loathed it. Mile, I loved. My senior year, all I ran was the mile, which I was so happy about.
So nobody made you do the 2 mile?
Of course, I did the 2 mile. Colonel made us do everything.
Yeah.
And I like that the least, too.
The
Is that-
2 mile?
Is that where
Yeah.
you get everyone on the team has to do the 2 mile at least once philosophy?
Yep, Colonel Carper.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
He has good philosophies for a reason.
It seemed to have worked.
You find out what you're good at.
Yeah,
And
that's
I was better at mile and 800.
true. Yeah.
I think with us, especially when you're running, you seem to get to really know people
Yeah.
and forge relationships. I don't know if that happens across the board, but I know with our team, and we become really close
Yeah.
through it.
Did you have any good friends on the team when you ran?
Sophie Webb. Yeah, she was a really good runner, and then she left me. She was having a lot of injury issues, and she just couldn't run anymore. And then, of course, I did have Sydney, and we were close during
Sydney Haynes.
Sydney Haynes,
Yeah.
yes. But sometimes whenever it's just you two, you kind of get very competitive. And so when she beat me, I would be a sore loser. And I'm sure it was vice versa, but she didn't show it and I did. And of course I regret being the way I was.
Hindsight 2020.
But I know we haven't really gotten into trouble, but we've had a lot of fun times. Do you have any memories of things
Yeah.
that you kind of went out of the box?
No, but there was one time, I think it was maybe a warm-up, and we had to do 2 laps, and me and my friend Sophie, we stopped behind the school, and we just waited for everyone else to run by us, and then we just kind of trotted along behind everyone else, acting like we did all of it. Colonel Carper knew we did not do it, and he was like, "Where were you guys?" And we're like, "What do you mean? We were running." He was like, "No, you didn't." We're like,
you
"Oh."
But you've told some stories about Sharp, and Sharp, he's a serious guy.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
takes running very seriously.
Yeah.
And I've only seen him really get mad just a few times.
Yeah.
He got mad at
Oh, I've
Davis
seen
that
him
one
get
time.
mad.
Do you have any stories when you really just kind of lit into everybody?
Yeah, yep. We were doing hill work at Hillsville Elementary School, and I don't know exactly what brought upon his anger, but I want to say people were complaining along those lines, asking how many do we have left, and one of the boys, he was a senior at the time, just got very sassy and talking back, and then he just blew up, and he said he wanted all of us to leave. He said, "Leave, get out of here." And me and a couple of the other seniors, we went up to him and we were like, "Coach, we want to run. We want to do this. We want to be here. Just tell us what to do." And after he calmed down, he was like, "Okay, all right, let's go finish our hill sprints. We finished it, and those who left were kicked off the team.
Really?
Yep.
Isn't there a similar story with, I think it was 200s during track?
Oh, yeah. We kept asking how many we had left, and we did 24 200s in practice.
Yeah, so that's almost 5K.
We did 10 today, and it about killed us.
Yeah, dude, 24 of them is awful.
Did he ride his bike back then? Or did he run? 'Cause I know.
Let's see. My 10th grade year, he did, because we practiced at Park 2000.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think my 11th and 12th grade year, we were up here at Hillsville Elementary.
And did y'all run on the trail any?
The New
For
River
long
Trail.
runs?
New River Trail, no. Not for cross country. For track, yes. Colonel
okay.
Carper, he would drive the little white
Mhm.
short bus, and he would take us over there every Thursday. Every Thursday was trail day.
Okay, so for Sharp, every Thursday was long gun day.
And one thing was kind
At
of
the trail.
Yeah, one thing was kind of scary for him. He kept pace with that bike.
Yeah.
So if he would come up behind you,
And
he would push the whole group, and you couldn't slow down because he was on that bicycle.
yeah.
But yeah, practicing up here at Hillsville, I mean, we've been doing that for years.
Yeah,
and years.
Sharp's always said
What
that
did y'all
was-
call the hill up there? Did y'all name it?
Yeah, we have names for all the hills. Do
Like
you-
Devil Hill,
Devil
basically.
Hill? Oh,
It was
okay.
so bad.
So
We
Big
just
Bertha.
hated it.
yeah, the hill coming from the bottom to the top for us is Big Bertha, and then the hill from the playground to the top where you go into the woods is Little Bertha.
I don't know how it started. When I started in 2018, and that's what they were calling us. I don't know when it started, because
Yeah.
it had to start sometime between when you graduated and us. But yeah, so
Names been passed on.
yeah.
Well,
Did you-
I feel like that sounded familiar. It was probably some of the boys that were
Yeah.
on the team, but I just never heard of it.
Yeah.
So you're almost finished with high school. Did you ever envision yourself as a college athlete?
No, I did not. I didn't even apply for colleges. I was the only one in my family who did go to college, and so I didn't have anyone to help me with that.
Yeah.
And Colonel Carper did, and got me to sign up for colleges. And of course, Sidney Haynes' brother, Kendall Haynes, he was running for Bluefield at the time, and got his coach to talk to me. And at first, I kind of shot him down, and then later on in cross-country season, I had Radford contact me whenever they had a cross-country team. And they contacted me, and it was at Metro, and they wanted to watch me run, and I talked to them and everything, and they said they were only going to offer me $1,000, and that's nothing compared to the money you pay for college.
Yeah.
So I shot them down, and then I talked to Bluefield again after that, and they offered me $12,000, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. So that's how I even got into college. I had 70% of my tuition paid for, and that's the only reason why I could have went, was running.
Did you know what you wanted to study when you went?
I wanted to do physical therapy, and then my senior year, I realized that I missed the deadline for Radford to apply to their program, and I was like, well, I'll take that gap year. And within that gap year, I don't want to go back to college. So of course that happens. So I think I'm just happy having my bachelor's.
Yeah. So that summer, after the track season had ended, and you knew that you were going to run at Bluefield that fall, what was that summer like? Were you nervous? Did you train a lot? Did you?
No, I just stayed the same, really. And to be honest, I think I had more of a big head because I knew I was faster than the other girls at Bluefield.
Okay.
So my freshman year, our wonderful coach who recruited me, he quit. And so we had the pitching coach for the baseball team. He stepped in, knew absolutely nothing. He would just text us and tell us, go run. We're not having practice, just go run. And of course, me being me, having a big head, being the top girl, why do I need to run?
Yeah.
Colonel Carper made me run. I know what I need to do. I've got the athletic ability. And then I gained 15 pounds. And then I was running I want to say one meet I ran a 24-minute. And it really hit me
So, in contrast, what were you running your senior year of high school?
Senior year in high school. So fastest, that was my fastest year. Let's see, cross country, I was 1901.
Wow.
But that was
That's
it was a
fast.
short 5K, I'll admit. So
Where was
I'd
that
say it was Roanoke. That was the first meet I had been there.
Did y'all run at Randy Smith and Bristol at
Yeah.
that point?
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
My fastest time is on their list.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
yeah, Samuel
Actually,
Haynes is too.
We met Randy Smith this year. I think he's NCAA
You
track
told
and
me.
cross country champ. So. He was a nice guy.
Yeah, he was cool.
You said you didn't really train that much in college when you first started.
No, did not, and it bit me in the butt.
Yeah.
That's when I realized that you got to have the determination to do it yourself. A coach can't make you do it, and I always had a coach make me do it in high school, and I didn't have that coach in college, and I had to try and find that determination myself.
So was
and
the
it was
team
hard.
camaraderie different in college than it was in high school?
Oh, very much so, because I didn't really know them that well, and they had their own interests, and I was a little bit different than them. So it's not like I had like besties on the team
Yeah.
either. And I kind of ran on by myself most of the time.
So how far did y'all run in your first meet? Because I know some colleges do
6K.
No.
6K.
was it?
Women's was 5K, men was 8K.
8K.
Did y'all ever run on the farm at Tech?
Yes, and
Yeah.
I have a wonderful story about that. That was my first time running at Virginia Tech. And, normal start, running on the trail, and you get to a point where you have a fence on both sides. And I hear girls like screaming in front of me, and I'm just not paying attention. I'm really tired, I'm winded anyways. And then I look up, and all of a sudden, bees hit me. And I got stung 6 times, but it was probably because I stopped.
Oh, yeah.
I ran, I got scared, I stopped, and I turned around.
Oh,
And I
okay.
couldn't finish my race because I'd have to run back through the bees.
Oh,
So, and I wasn't sure if I was allergic to bees at the time, so I ran straight to the athletic trainer's tent.
yeah, that's probably a
But
wise
they didn't stop the
decision.
race?
No, the girls had to run back through the bees. You had to run through it 2 times.
Wow.
You would think that they would
So,
have.
kudos to those girls who finished it,
finished,
because
yeah.
I did not.
I don't think I'd be able
And
to finish.
Colonel Carper was there, and Coach Sharp, and I felt so bad they couldn't see me run,
Oh.
and they were even wondering where I was, and I was like getting stung by bees.
Yeah.
And I actually have like extra cartilage on this ear from where I got stung by a bee on the top
Oh.
of my ear,
Wow.
because it got stung here, one on my shoulder, and all the rest were on my head.
So how many years at Bluefield did you run?
I ran 4 years.
4 years. Was track different? Did you have a different coach?
Well,
for-
see, it was just cross country at the time.
Really?
They didn't start a
No
track
track
team
team.
until after I
Oh,
graduated.
man.
Do you regret not having those experiences?
I would love to have done track because I liked it better than cross country. But the only good thing about cross country in college, most of them were flat courses because coaches picked flatter courses on purpose so that their teams would have better times.
Where's
Rather, in high school, for some awful reason, they want to do the hardest courses, and it's completely opposite in college.
Was there one course that you just really enjoyed running?
Or really hated? for that
Really
matter?
hated running, yeah.
Okay, hated was Concord. Concord University has a massive, massive hill that you have to run up. It is awful, absolutely awful. You want to die when you get to the top of it. And I don't mean that lightly. Like, I'm telling you, one day you should run their course. It's on,
Is it near campus?
no, it's off
Okay.
campus. It's near where there's like a resort area.
Okay.
I can't remember where it is. Best race though, would be Sand Shark. So a lot of it was on like sandy ground, and it was in Georgia. And every time we went, we got to go to the beach for a day.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
Yep.
Make a
So
trip
what's
out of it.
yes. So what's like the farthest y'all traveled to run a race?
Well, that was nationals. I went to nationals 2 times.
So, yeah, tell us
one
about
was in Mississippi and one was in Missouri. So whichever one's farther away.
So pretty flat too.
Yeah, tell us about nationals, how you qualified, what it was like, who your coach was at the time.
Was that your junior and senior year that you ran nationals?
Yeah, when did you run nationals?
Junior and senior,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's see. Junior year, it was when it was just me and another girl. We were under Coach Kendall Haynes at the
okay.
time, and we had a meet before our home meet, and I, for the life of me, don't remember what it was called. I just remember the course, and I was mad that when I placed, they gave out T-shirts instead of like trophies or medals, because that's what happened often in college. They just give you T-shirts if you placed instead
cool.
of other things. But I have a T-shirt that has a giant eagle on it, and I even like wear it often at home, and I can't remember what it says on it. But I qualified there by time.
Oh, okay, so it was by time, not placement.
Yep,
Interesting.
time. And then the next year was the whole team made it, because Coach Kendall Haynes had a home meet where he made the course just a little bit shorter.
Oh, okay.
So that way we could all place.
Yeah.
So, and
Do you remember what your time was qualifying your junior year that got you that qualification?
no idea,
Okay.
because it was slower than high school.
Oh, okay. Did you ever run faster than your high school fastest times in college?
I think the fastest I ran in college was 21 something.
21. Like still
And that was
impressive.
still like slow to me,
Well, yeah.
because I ran a lot
Running
faster
at
in
19.
high school. Yeah.
And you were injured in college sometimes too, weren't you?
I injured my knee in college. I got bursitis and tendonitis in my right knee.
Okay.
And
Bursitis is no fun.
no, it's not. I ran one of our home meets, and right after the meet, I felt like my knee was just swelling on the inside. And I was just like, nah, it's okay. It'll be better by tomorrow. No, when I woke up, my whole knee was swollen. I went straight to the athletic trainers, and they could see my knee was swollen through my pants.
Oh, wow. So it was a lot.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
got
not
it
sure if
pretty
this is true, but you said something about shoe troubles too in college.
Yeah.
Didn't the coaches get something like?
Oh, yeah. So the coach, who was the pitching coach,
Yeah.
he bought everyone Nike Pegasus. Everyone the
Is that where your
same
dislike
So
for Nike
shoe.
comes from?
Oh, so is that
Yes.
why you don't like it when I
That's
wear my
why
Nikes?
I'm biased. Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that. For reference, I have a pair of Nike shoes that I love, and every time I wear them, Coach says something to me.
Yeah, Nikes are trash.
Nah.
I'm just kidding. But I'm not at the same time. But my calves hurt really, really bad wearing those shoes. And then I had to switch back to my Mizunos at the time.
Was the coach at all against you wearing your own shoes, or did he?
Nah, he didn't care.
Okay, so they were just like
He was
a
more about
gift.
looks.
Oh, I
He was
see.
more about,
Yeah.
let's all wear the same shoes.
Well,
Let's
pegs
all
do look nice.
Yeah, let's all wear the same sweats and T-shirts.
Baseball
and,
style.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was all about looks.
So you went to national championships your junior and senior year. Were you nervous at all for?
And how'd you do?
I don't even remember, to be honest, with placing. But let's see, my junior year, I was very nervous because it was just me and another girl.
Yeah.
And senior year, when the team got to go, that was pretty nice, having others with me to run. But it was pretty fun, to be honest. Just kind of going to a different state, somewhere I hadn't even been before,
Yeah.
and just running like we normally do.
Yeah. It seems like once you get out there in the race, it's not that bad. But me and a lot of people tend to get race anxiety before.
Yeah.
Get
I
nervous.
always did,
Yeah.
always.
Do you have any advice for dealing with race anxiety?
Yeah, that's a big factor for a lot
Just
of us.
breathing and just telling yourself you got this. But I've always had that anxiety
think so,
throughout, well, high school and well, obviously college. But in high school, I'd say my senior year, I didn't have that much anxiety because I knew how well I was doing and I felt more confident.
Yeah,
So I think having that confidence really helped with my anxiety.
Confidence coming from your performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I also think a little bit of anxiety is kind of a good thing when you're running.
Of course,
Because
yeah.
the races I've not been nervous for is the races I've done the worst at. If I've got like a little bit of a gnaw in me, like, oh, this is about to go down,
See,
it seems like I perform
it's
better.
the opposite for me though.
Really?
Since I'm not at all nervous for it, I fly. But the races I'm
Yeah,
nervous for, I
you
can-
waste that adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was that your last race in college, that nationals race? Your senior year?
Yeah.
Were you happy with ending it like that, or did you wish you could have done more?
No, I think I did what I could. I did my best.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for.
Well,
I mean, I don't know what it feels like, but what's that last race feel like? I mean, that last
Is it
minute, is
sad?
it like,
it,
you know, that's
it
might
was
be the last
sad,
time?
but it felt good at the same time because it felt like I'm getting this over with and I can run for my own pleasure now. I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about races anymore or worry about that anxiety popping up and stuff. So that was pretty nice. And just another thing off my plate because in college I had to work too. So I couldn't go to every practice either. I had to work.
Yeah.
I had to take care of myself.
So you finished college. Did you have any aspirations of coaching?
Yeah. I was hoping that the college would hire me as an assistant or even graduate assistant,
Okay.
and then maybe get my master's or something. But they didn't have a master's that I would have wanted anyways, regardless. And so I just kind of moved back home.
Yeah, and you worked at the Senior Citizens Center, right?
I did. I worked at Commonwealth Senior Living
Senior Living.
for about 2.5 years or so.
So you worked as a nurse over there, right? And you got your registered nurse from the nursing degree?
No. I was a CNA,
CNA,
certified
okay.
nursing assistant.
Okay, so it's different. I wasn't sure.
Very different.
Okay.
So we're the bottom of the totem pole, but there would be
Okay.
no totem pole without CNAs.
That's a good way to
Yeah.
put it. So you got the CNA certification from the nursing program at Carroll County High School?
I did. So
Yeah.
I did that in 11th grade, and I started my LPN my senior year, and that's whenever I decided that exercise science was my thing because we had a HOSA competition. And I decided to do sports medicine. Everyone else was doing nursing skills or whatever else, and I wanted to do something different. And so I had to teach that to myself
Yeah.
because Debbie Johnson at the time said that she couldn't teach me that. She said that wasn't her forte. We didn't have a sports medicine teacher
Yeah.
at the time either. So I did have to teach myself. And at that competition, I placed 5th in the state.
Wow.
So
It's pretty
that's
good for
whenever I
not
was
having a
just,
teacher.
yeah. I just thought, wow, maybe exercise science is my thing. So that's whenever I kind of moved away from nursing and went straight to exercise science.
So how long did you work at Commonwealth?
2.5 years.
And you were there during COVID, weren't you?
I was, and that was
Yeah. So
awful.
what was that like? Yeah. Awful?
Working 139 hours in
Oh,
2
wow.
weeks.
Whoa, that's a lot.
It is. It's about 70 a week.
I know at some nursing centers they stayed on site. Did y'all leave and go home, or did y'all?
Oh, I left and went home.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I only lived 8 minutes away, so.
So was that over 7 days, 5 days? Were you working every day of the week? How'd that work for the 140-hour weeks?
Well, I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
I just worked, dude.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
I worked every shift. I worked morning, evening, and night. I did all of it. There was times where I only had 8 hours in between. I went back to work. I'd get off at 7 in the morning and go back in at 3 in the evening.
Wow.
Just a tough time.
It was
Did
awful.
you do it out of necessity because they didn't have enough nurses at the time, or?
Well, I was looking for jobs after graduating,
Yeah.
and all I found was coaching. So that's whenever I started coaching at Carroll County High School. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll just get another certification, and that'll help me find other job openings. So
Yeah.
while I was over there at Commonwealth, I was studying for my exercise physiologist certification, which took me a whole year to study for, and finally took it. It was a 3.5-hour test, and I took every single minute of it, and it was literally the hardest test I've ever taken. So I finally got it, and then probably about 6 months after that, I started working here, and then I was doing both jobs at the same time.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
I was only having 2 days off a whole month. No, sorry, that was 2 weekends. So 4 days off a whole month.
Wow.
And that was awful until they finally asked me to be part-time here at the Wellness Center, which I almost bawled my eyes out when they asked me that. And that's how I came to being here and
So-
at the high school.
Are you working full-time here now? Or?
Yeah, I'm full-time,
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, every weekend off. And
Nice.
I schedule my own patients.
Must be
For
nice.
any listeners that wants to come to the Carroll County Wellness Center.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm also a
Yeah.
personal trainer, and I do sessions with people.
she's great. She organizes this lifting program in the winter and the summer
Yeah.
that she does for us runners, and it's great. I've gained so much strength from it and endurance.
Absolutely.
She knows what she's talking about. She's good.
But coming back to Carroll County after you graduate college and starting to coach, what was it like being on the team, then come back and coaching the team? I think that would be a
Yeah,
whole
transition.
Very-
different shift. Yeah.
No, I thought it was a little nostalgic being back on that track and having the exact position that Colonel Carper had.
Yeah.
Just made me feel really good.
But so you do that. So you've been doing that for like 3 or 4 years.
4 years.
Coaching.
4 years coaching, yeah.
4 years.
Since 2019, since after I graduated college.
4 years coaching track.
Have you had any meaningful experiences while being a coach that you'd like to share?
Probably you guys.
Yeah.
Y'all are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Y'all make me laugh. Y'all are very wholesome. Of course, y'all can make me mad sometimes. But I'm very lenient with you guys. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to be chill. I don't want to be one of those coaches that are like mean. I don't want to be one of those coaches you can't come up to and have a problem and you just can't talk to someone about it. I want to be that person you feel open to
Yeah.
talking about stuff.
You certainly convey that feeling. I can speak for all of us when we say
Absolutely.
we feel comfortable.
Because I
coming
never
to
get
you.
nervous coming to practice.
Yeah.
Really.
Because for me in high school, being a female, having 2 male coaches, I did not feel comfortable coming up to them talking about my personal life whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so I guess being female, that kind of helps a little bit. But also being open and not having this look on you that you don't want to talk to
Yeah.
people or you just look very intimidating. I don't have that look on me. And so it's easier for people to talk to me.
Do you see yourself in any students that run? Like, do you look at students and say, and see the same mistakes you've made and the same things you did in high school?
You don't have to name drop.
No, not name drop,
Yeah.
but just
I don't know. I think I might favor Cadence a little bit
Yeah.
because I know she's gone through some hard stuff and
She works hard.
she's very shy.
Yeah.
And so I was like that. I didn't want to get out of my little comfort zone. And that's exactly what she's doing this year. She's getting out of her comfort zone and doing things that she hasn't tried before.
absolutely. And she started out not talking at all, really. And now she's coming to us in the hallways and saying stuff. So that's really
Yeah, that's
Nice.
great.
Yeah.
But I think we've really went over most of
Yeah,
running.
Is there anything you want to talk about that we didn't mention?
Do you have any hobbies outside of running?
Hobbies. Ooh,
Yeah.
I play video games.
Video games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to
We
play
talk
video
about that a
games.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite video game?
Skyrim, dude.
Yeah. I remember my first year of track, you had a Skyrim phone case. And
Yeah.
everyone looked at it because your phone was laying on the ground. Yeah, that was a cool moment. The hand.
Yep.
That was cool.
It says we know.
Yeah, we know.
Yep.
But Skyrim, I'm not a big video game guy. I've heard of Skyrim.
It's-
It's open world,
The
ain't it?
best game ever. Yeah. Open world.
You're
Nordic.
a big
kind
fan of
of mythology a
Assassin's
little bit.
Creed too, right?
Yeah, I love Assassin's Creed.
Have any other hobbies other than video games, running?
Because you've started doing some 5Ks here recently, haven't you?
Yeah, you're getting back into the running scene.
A little bit. I've got some 5Ks that I want to run. The Biltmore State is having a 5K and a 10K. I don't know if I want to run the 5K or the 10K. And if I run the 10K, that'd be pretty nice. But 5K is shorter, and I guess that might be something I should do because it's shorter. And I know Dr. Danley's having one soon, so I was thinking about doing that one.
Have you thought about running any of the longer races? Have you run a half marathon?
I have, and that was awful.
Where did you run that one at?
That was
Was that last
New
year?
River Trail. No, it was
Oh,
a couple
okay.
years ago. It was whenever I was in college. And it was, I ran the half marathon. Kendall Haynes, he biked, and then his brother,
Also, it was the tri challenge.
yes,
Okay.
his brother kayaked.
Okay.
And I ran the last bit, and we got second,
Well, that's
but
impressive.
the girl who beat me in the half marathon, and I almost beat her. Like right whenever I finished, I seen her walking. I was like, oh, so close
So
to catch
close,
up to
yeah.
her, and then we would have gotten first. But later on, Kendall had told me that her team went with the individuals not with the
Oh,
teams.
okay.
And so they had a head start. But it did make me feel cool that I almost caught up with them at the very
That's
end.
impressive.
Yeah.
You started
But
early.
I ran that in an hour and 46.
Hmm.
That's about what? 8:15
Yeah.
Something like that.
per mile,
Thanks.
something like
Pretty-
that.
Looking it. It's fast.
But I think wrapping it up, every episode we want to really ask this.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for young people just starting out?
For young people,
Doesn't
just
have to be running. Just
And just anything.
yeah.
just anything. Just take it slow. Take your time. Don't be in a rush. Have fun. Be optimistic. I guess that's about it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Be a good person.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I have one final question. It's a bit corny, and you can take a minute to think about it, but what's the meaning to all this, the meaning to life? Why are we here?
Why are we here? Well, I am a Christian, so we're here to praise God and to live our life the way He would want us to. But the one thing I think about it is He gave us free will for a reason.
Yeah.
So we're also here for us too. And, so we can have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, we thank you for coming on and most of all for putting up with us for
Yeah.
all these years. So thank you.
It's been great. It's a real honor having you on, our second guest. It's
Second guest.
pretty cool.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
And for the listeners, look out next week for a new interview.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you. My name is Jeffrey Watson,
And I'm Ethan Edwards.
and this is the Ridge Podcast.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Instagram, and as well as your favorite podcasting app. Our email is theurgepodcast@gmail.com, and our website is theurgepodcast.com.
If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you.